Can this lentil, chickpea and buckwheat bread really replace my beloved white baguette? Today we are testing a 24 hours fermented bread to see if it's actually worth the effort. I'm Bambi and I'm on my health journey. Now I want to eat in a way that truly nourishes my body, starting with finding nutrient-dense swaps for foods I love like bread. In this series I will be testing different bread recipes until I find the one that can replace my beloved white baguette. For me, the ideal bread is plant-based, easy to make, nutritious, and neutral enough in flavor to work with both sweet and savory toppings. That's why I prepared a guacamole and a homemade date-sweetened Nutella to find this out. To date, I have selected 5 recipes worth trying in the next days, and I would love to add your suggestion to the list. Each bread will receive a very serious and highly scientific rating from me, from A, Delicious top tier bread. I will happily switch my baguette for this, to E, Loaf of regret. Total disaster, terrible taste and texture. Even your dog will reject it. Let's start with the first bread. It's a fermented, gluten-free, dairy-free, yeast-free, egg-free, free of many things. It's made of buckwheat, chickpea and lentils. I actually tried this recipe a few months ago, but I couldn't really remember the taste really. The potential downside of today's bread is the time commitment. At least 18 hours. It requires planning because the grains need to soak and ferment. So this is not exactly a bread you decide to make when you are already hungry, okay? If planning 18 to 24 hours ahead sounds like a lot, here's why it might still be worth it. First, soaking and fermenting helps reduce fatty acid and other anti-nutrients, improving digestion and nutrient absorption. Compared to my beloved baguette, it contains double the protein, 3 times more iron and 6 times more fiber. And the cost is amazing, less than €2 per loaf. And I use only organic raw ingredients. Not too bad, right? Are you sold? Alright, let's make the bread. Let's start with washing the lentils and the buckwheat groats. Then soak them in 320 milliliters of water for 6 to 12 hours. After soaking them, next, do not rinse. Just add 150 milliliters of water, salt and sugar. I actually use date powder instead of the sugar. I do not have any white sugar in my house. It's the only sweetener I have, so I use that and it worked perfectly. Then you can blend until smooth. And let it sit for 12 to 24 hours covered. I waited the full 24 hours only because of my poor planning. I prefer to sleep. I think it was at midnight. I was like, no, I think it can wait another 12 hours. No way. But the first time I made the recipe, I waited 12 hours exactly and it worked perfectly well. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. The mixture should look a bit airy and it smells like what it is really, lentils. Add the chickpea flour, the seeds of your choice, so I'm going with pumpkin seed and sunflower seeds, psyllium husk and baking soda. Gently mix. Transfer the batter to a pan. Flatten it and add extra seeds on top. Bake for 50 to 60 minutes and let it cool completely. I was impatient. I really wanted to know if it will work with my homemade Nutella. Finally, after 41 hours, it's time to taste this bread. Actually, 41 hours is just for me because I was way too lazy. I prefer to sleep. But you have better planning skills. So for you, it would be 18 hours, 24 hours, around that. Unless you are like me. Are you like me? Tell me in the comments if sleep is everything. Tasting. I tested the bread over 4 days to see how the taste and texture evolve. Day 1, plain. First impression is impressive, it's excellent, knowing what's in it. The texture is soft, it's moist, and the taste is not completely neutral, as expected to be honest, but it's also not too strong. It's actually nice. Honestly, I could snack on this bread just by itself. Savoury. Next, I tried with guacamole. I even put extra effort in making the toast to look nice for the video. Look, my work. And the taste was amazing, obviously, because, I mean, if the bread tastes good plain, there is no reason why it wouldn't taste good with a nice savoury topping. The sweet test. Now the moment I was the most nervous about. My brain could not really understand the combination. Lentils, chickpeas, buckwheat groats, and chocolate together. Really? I tried it and honestly it works. There is a tiny aftertaste, but the chocolate mostly dominates, yeah. And the seeds add a crunchy texture that actually reminds me of Ferrero Rocher. Wait, I am not saying it tastes like Ferrero Rocher because that would be a lie, but it reminds me of this. It's actually very nice. So I will say it's neutral enough to work with sweet toppings as well. Day 2. So for day 2, the bread actually stayed on the counter overnight, covered, and it still felt fresh to me. I tested the chocolate toast again because I just wanted to be sure. And it still worked perfectly. In fact, I even made another toast immediately after finishing the first one. And I think that's a good sign. Day 3. This time the bread was actually stored in the fridge. I sliced a few pieces and toasted them. And honestly, it was almost like day 1. It was very nice. I had it with my lentil soup and yeah, it worked wonderfully. Day 4, identical to day 3. I toasted 2 slices and had it with my lentil soup again. If you store this bread in the fridge, it can easily last a week, which makes it actually quite practical if you bake it once a week. Final rating. So where does this bread land on my scale? This bread is a strong contender. My rating is B. Almost perfect. It is not as neutral as a baguette. I almost want to say that it's even more interesting in taste than a baguette. I personally don't mind this rustic taste, although it might bother some people, but I guess I cannot give it an A because of the time spent on it. Even with good planning, I just wonder if it's really the price to pay to get such bread. I think or hope we can find a bread recipe even slightly better, or maybe I'm delusional. But this bread is definitely worth making again, especially because it's nutritious, it's affordable, so less than €2 per loaf. Again, for this video, I made only half of the recipe, so it only cost me less than €1 in ingredients and genuinely tasty. Here you have it, guys. If you have a bread recipe you think I should add to my list, leave it in the comments. I would love to try it, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm testing another bread recipe to see which one comes closest to replacing my beloved white baguette. All right, bye.